anything is possible. We're a team that's going to fight, and yeah, we're going to give it everything we got, and we believe that we can win this thing. So I'd say that's a good reason to believe.
Christian Pulisic looking very calm and collected, just like this guy next to us. It is great to have legendary soccer coach Pete Fewing with us today. All those great years in Seattle, all those titles and winning records and all that stuff, Coach. And it's always great. You've been on the show a lot lately, man. You comfortable?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't get the memo on the Blazers. I'm going to the game.
Chris made us wear suits today, so I'm sorry he didn't tell you.
My game day look.
You don't change what coaches wear.
No, I'm wearing the same thing I wore at the last game, and we won. So.
All right, that's good. I like that. Let's get right to it. We know that the U.S. and Belgium kick it off at 5 p.m. Today, right across the street at Lumen Field. The Americans currently 16th in FIFA rankings. Belgium in the top 10 at number 9. How tough will this matchup be?
Well, it's the World Cup round of 16, so it's supposed to be like this. But Belgium, I've seen Belgium play twice already, right, live. In the first one with Egypt, I thought they were okay, but not great. And then 0-0 with Iran. And then I saw the Senegal game, and honestly, they didn't start playing until about the 85th minute. And they were down 2-0. Yeah. But they can turn it on. So this will be a good game. Lukaku's super dangerous. De Bruyne can unlock anybody. I don't think Lukaku will start. Doku is they're a talented team. Their goalkeeper, Courtois, is massive. He's huge. So
6'7".
Yeah, he's a big fella. I mean, you look at him, and he can hang his hands over the crossbar, so he takes up a lot of space.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I've heard that a lot about this Belgian team, is they've so far been okay, and everybody feels like they're ready for them to possibly release.
Right.
But that's easier said than done, right? In a World Cup, you can't just turn it on like that.
No, talk to Germany, talk to Brazil, talk to Mexico, talk to the Netherlands. Right, they never really got going, and they're done. So Belgium, I think, learned a lot in the Senegal game. Again, Senegal, I thought, was much better in the first half of the first 86 minutes. And then Belgium came alive. But when they flipped it on, that was great. I'm sure that's a conversation they're having. Let's not start in the 86th minute. Let's start at kickoff.
Let's take you through your coaching days. You're coaching, you're getting ready for a national championship match. You lose one of your stars.
Yeah.
Your leading goal scorer. You appeal the decision, and all of a sudden you find out, a couple days before the match, you're getting him back. What does it mean to have Flo back in the lineup?
Well, it's the right thing. There's a lot of, kerfuffle about it, controversy about it, but they used it slow motion. And when in slow motion, it looks like a red card. But when you look at intent and you look at where he's looking, he's not looking at the player. So you get him back. It's the right thing to do. And what a lift, because Balogun is a different kind of player. He's a post-up guy. He can hold people off. He can finish. He's got 3 goals so far for the team. And he's different than Pepe. So it's a huge lift. And the other thing is it takes pressure off Pulisic. Yeah. Because I think without Balogun, then they can focus on Pulisic. Try to deny Pulisic the ball.
And he opens it up a little bit for Pulisic, right? Stretches the defense a little bit.
Yeah, he can hold the ball up, and so Pulisic can get in behind. It can go in, back, wide, right? Dest on the other side, on the right side. So yeah, it's a huge upgrade for the U.S.
Did you see him, Paul? He wanted to start drawing some things up.
Yeah.
That's what coaches do.
So we're used to that. But you bring up Balogun, and Belgium, appealed that decision, and that was denied. So he is officially going to play in this match. And you bring up good points there, Coach. But let's talk about the rest of the field. And I've been watching a lot of this, as a soccer nerd, recording games. Lots of great games out there. Has there been one or two that have jumped out to you, just been outstanding and fun to watch? Or teams that are fun to watch?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed Japan. I was sad to see them go out. Their 2-2 draw was just fantastic. They just bring something unique. And then, man, Norway, right? You got to love Holland. He's your kind of guy, right? He's just, get Rowan. Yeah, he's not fazed by it at all. And before the France game, they rotated 10 starters, right? And he just says, yeah, we're going to lose, right? So he's really got a great personality. And you're right, what he's done with the fan base and the rowing is...
Yeah, the Viking row.
The Viking row.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the other matches that kind of segued into tonight's match. We watched an incredible match. Mexico, England. England has to play a man down for, it felt like, the last 40 minutes of that match. And the home field, that crowd was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Yet,
Yeah.
England gets out of there with the win. So I guess I'm segueing into home field advantage. It will be a U.S. crowd tonight in Seattle. It will be a loud crowd. I've always said Seattle soccer fans have a very high IQ when it comes to soccer, but is it much of an advantage when it comes down to it?
Yeah, I think it will be today for the U.S. I went to a party yesterday at one of my former players' house, and he had a mariachi band, and I had an England top on under this, right? Because my parents are English. I did not dare take that off. I would have been kicked out of the house. A bunch of our former players were there, so it was great. But that was a phenomenal win for England because the heat, altitude, and then the home crowd. They tried to hide where England was staying, right? So the fans couldn't get there and disrupt them. They found them. They found them. Right? I don't know who leaked that, but I'm sure they got an envelope somewhere. But yeah, I think the home crowd buoys this team quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree with you, and there'll be no atmosphere like the one that's going to be across the street here in several hours from now. When you joined us on the show a couple of weeks ago, Pete, you talked to us a little bit, tipped us off on the Adidas commercial from Christian Roldan when he was just a kid, which was awesome, and Chris and I didn't even know about it, so we pulled it up on YouTube and watched it. Now, that was when Christian was a youngster. They've redone that commercial, which is super cool. Any thoughts on? I mean, just a great chance.
We should take credit for them redoing it.
Absolutely.
Are you getting a check for this, Pete?
Let's hope. That's such an awesome commercial. His dad was the one who set it up. He took him to the audition, and then to see Christian doing it again as an adult, just wonderful. I texted his father after we did our show, and I said, "Hey, get to Adidas." So I have no idea if we had anything to do with it, but it was a smart move.
Oh, I think it was a great move.
Yeah.
We asked Brian.
Marketing, you and I.
You two together would be great. We asked Brian Spencer a win tonight for U.S., what that means for soccer in the United States. You've been running the Pete Fewing Soccer Camp. You've been working with not only national champion college kids, you've worked with a lot of youth in this area. You know a lot of the coaches in this area. We're seeing soccer go to places it's never been before.
Yeah.
What would a win tonight mean for the U.S.? Getting to the quarters for the first time since 2002.
Yeah, the modern era, right, of football in the world for the U.S. to advance and continue to go will be phenomenal. The ripple effect, when in '94 when we had the World Cup here, the MLS started after that. So we'll see what happens. When the U.S. played their first game here, after the game, players were asking Christian Roldan, how do we play for Seattle? Because the atmosphere here. So I think we're going to see a good bump. I was just talking to Michelle Akers, and all I could say to her was, I'm so proud of you, right, for what you've done for the game, and you have to enjoy this moment. But you talk about Schmetz, and a lot of people have worked hard to build the game to where it is. This is the next step. Today will be a really tough battle, no question. But that's what it's supposed to be at this round, right?
The atmosphere across the street is going to be wild. The atmosphere at T-Mobile Park the other night, what a great moment. Friday night when the U.S. men's soccer team and head coach Mauricio Pochettino threw out the first pitch to open the Mariners-Blue Jays series. Chants of USA throughout the stadium. When you saw that, Pete, I mean, I'm sure it's like, man, what a cool moment, and the timing was beautiful.
I've done that, but I threw from the mound, just so you know. But that was a heck of a pitch, because if you saw him a couple days earlier at the UW warming up.
No, it was like a half an hour before he was barely
they were at UW practicing, and he looked very Argentinian as a pitcher. Like, it was like that. So that was, his learning curve was impressive.
Man, he put it on the mark.
Right down the middle to Dan Wilson. Danny boy, as they call him.
All right. He wasn't from the mound, though.
No.
I get it. You threw from the mound. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, Paul, did you know when Pete did it, he threw from the mound?
I did.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you talking about the Olympics. Hey, Chris, did you know Chris went to the Olympics?
Yeah, Paul actually wore this tie when the U.S. men's hockey team
These two guys.
for the gold medal.
Oh, my goodness.